Good morning. It is Thursday morning, which means I am now 1 month since my surgery. Although, like I've said before, technically I didn't get out of surgery until kind of late Thursday night, but still today is the 4-week mark. I do have to send in updated photos today to the clinic. I also had a massage yesterday, which was my first massage since the surgery, and I'm pretty sore. I just did like a 30-minute upper body kind of neck and shoulders massage. It's where I was holding a lot of tension ever since my surgery and having to sleep sitting up, and obviously just having a lot of inflammation and kind of discomfort in my head. I think it makes sense that I would have extra tension in my neck and shoulders after that. So I'm pretty sore from my massage. I'm going to go do just kind of a light cardio active recovery, get my muscles warmed up, feel a little less stiff this morning. Try to get out for a little bit of morning sunlight too, because it's supposed to get cloudy and rainy the rest of the day. And then I have to do my updated photos that I will be sending to the clinic for my 1 month post-op update. Gotta love that sleep score. Sleep makes everything better, and as my sleep has improved, my readiness and all my other metrics have been improving as well. Yesterday I was at 88, so I definitely think I'm past this recovery stage and pretty much back to normal. Good morning. It's Sunday morning. It's actually Easter today. I don't really have any big plans today except to go see my parents for a little bit, which I do most Sundays. We'll probably try to FaceTime with my sister and her family and with my 2 nephews. I'm sure they're having a great time doing lots of Easter festivities, but I did get a little workout in this morning. I'm going to meet up with a friend later this afternoon for a walk. The only other kind of Easter related thing is I did actually make an Easter basket for my parents, but kind of with like what I would consider slightly better versions of Easter candy, little treats and stuff like that. I just figured after years and years of them making me Easter baskets when I was a kid, it might be fun to give them something that has some of my favorite sort of candy treat items, but that are just a little better ingredients in my mind. A little less ultra processed food, but still kind of fun things to have. I'm gonna head over to my parents, have a little family time this morning, a little friend time later this afternoon. Speaking of going for a walk, I mentioned in my last video that I had ordered a couple of wide-brimmed hats to use for this summer to keep my skin protected. I do really have to avoid sun exposure for a while post-op. I did order 2 that got delivered, and one of them I'm not even going to show you because it's like enormous and just looks ridiculous, but there is like a visor thing that I found that I kind of like, but I'm not entirely sure that I love it. This is what it looks like. I like that it is really like it's foldable and packable. I'm not sure that I love the way it fits on me. I feel like I need to just like wear it around my house a little bit and see what I think. But then I also realized that I had another wide-brimmed hat that I actually won at a horse show last year. It's not the cutest hat in the world, but it will do for now. And then at some point today, I also want to do a supplement update because I've kind of reintroduced some things I had stopped taking prior to my surgery, and then I still have a bunch of things that I'm taking that the clinic gave me as part of my post-op regimen, and also a few thoughts on one of the medications that I had to stop taking that I haven't actually reintroduced yet. And I have a little bit of a theory on that I want to share later. Okay, it's a while later in the afternoon. I just got back from walking with my friend and wanted to go over the supplements that I'm currently using. Before my surgery, I stopped taking a bunch of the supplements that I normally would take. I started a bunch of supplements that the clinic had sent me that they wanted me to take pre and post-op, and now I am continuing to take some of those supplements. Some of them I have finished and have kind of started to integrate some of the ones that I was taking previously back in. So just thought I would share what I'm currently taking both for post-op recovery and like kind of what are the more important things that I would take every day that I made sure to bring back in as soon as I could after my surgery. Okay, so this is like my current supplement stash, and there are actually a couple that I also keep refrigerated. I know it seems like a lot, but each one does serve a specific purpose for me, and I'll show you what each one is and why I'm taking it. Okay, so I'll start off with the ones that I started taking pre-op that I'm continuing to take now. These were ones that were sent to me by the clinic where I had my surgery, specifically for post-op recovery, for skin recovery, that kind of thing. First one that I'm taking is called SPM Active. And it says that it is formulated to target root causes of soreness, soothe and minimize discomfort, alleviate soreness and joint discomfort. It is active fractionated marine lipid concentrate. Originally, or when I was first started taking these, I was taking it twice a day. Now I'm down to kind of a maintenance dose of taking it once a day, and I'll continue on that basically for like 3 months post-op. The next one that I'm continuing to take is Stem Regen. This one is ingredients that support stem cell release and migration. Again, kind of helping with repair and recovery after surgery. This one I was also taking twice a day immediately after the surgery for the first couple of weeks, and now I'm just down to once a day maintenance dose for the next few months. Proteo Heal is kind of an enzyme formula. It's very similar to a digestive enzyme I was taking previously. So I'm taking this one 3 times a day, basically with each meal. Once I finish up with these, I'll go back to the digestive enzymes that I was taking previously. Like I said, very similar, just a slightly different formulation. And we have 3 peptides that I have been taking. We have BPC 157. We have this GHK copper, and the TB4 Frag Max. The BPC 157, like I mentioned before, that's actually something I was taking for quite a while previously that my naturopath had me on. The GHK Copper and the TB4 Frag Max were new ones that I added in pre-op and also been continuing post-op. All of these peptides are helping with like tissue repair, wound healing, reducing inflammation, supporting the nervous system and immune system. Just good things to have on board, especially after surgery. And these ones also I will continue for the next couple of months until I'm about like 3 months post-op. Those are all the ones that I got from the clinic that specifically were for this surgery, and then the ones that I was taking regularly before my surgery that I actually had to pause for a couple weeks pre-op and that I've now kind of integrated back in. I have a vitamin C that I take every day. I have this Broccolite, which is a sulforaphane supplement, really good for promoting good detoxification, which I always need extra support for my detoxification pathways. I have a magnesium. This is one that many people are commonly deficient in, especially when your body is recovering. You're gonna be more depleted, you're gonna deplete magnesium stores. So I basically always just stay on a magnesium supplement. I have a liquid vitamin D. I'll take a little bit less of this as we move into summer, and I'm getting more just like vitamin D from being outside and sun exposure. But I have had my levels tested, and I know that when I supplement, I keep it at a better range, and I do tend to be a little bit low when I'm not taking it. That's why I keep that one year round. Also have a liquid vitamin B. Again, for me, knowing that my energy level is low, knowing that my body is a little bit depleted in a lot of ways, and also based off of some previous genetic testing and kind of knowing specific areas where my body needs more support, having this specific vitamin B formulation on hand is something that I will continue regularly. I have also now reintegrated my bone support formula. Take 1 pack at AM and 1 pack at PM. At first, the first time I took this, I thought it made me like super nauseated. I don't know if that was just like because it was the first time I took it, but now I have been able to take it regularly without any problem. I do also take fish oil, which I keep refrigerated. And then lastly, I just have trace minerals, which I add to my water or anytime I'm using my reverse osmosis filtered water for drinking, for making tea or coffee or whatever, because the reverse osmosis system is basically stripping out a lot of bad stuff, but it's also going to be taking out some good minerals from the water. It's important to add back some of those trace minerals because that helps your cells actually absorb the water and use it. If you're drinking filtered water or like distilled water, especially reverse osmosis water, definitely want to be adding back trace minerals. So I always have these on hand. I think that's it. I was taking probiotics after the surgery because I had taken antibiotics for that first week post-op. I then followed that up with some probiotic support to help repair my gut, but I'm done with those now. And that's kind of the current supplement lineup. It's a lot of pills to take every day, but I know all these things are helping my body specifically, both to heal from the surgery and just to kind of manage every day. So to me, I'm more than happy to take a bunch of pills if that means it's going to help. As always, this is not medical advice. We're not suggesting that anybody needs any of these or should take any of these, but if you were getting ready for surgery, recovering from something, you're struggling with some kind of chronic illness, these could potentially be things that you might want to ask your doctor about. A lot of supplements that I have tried or taken over the years, or even are still taking now, are things that maybe I have heard about from other people, other practitioners, other health experts that I have then brought to my doctors and basically said, like, is this something I should try? And sometimes it is. And sometimes that's ended up being a way that I found something really helpful. So that's why I like to share the supplements that I'm taking in case it could help somebody else. I feel like it never hurts to share this information. I think this is the first time my readiness score has been in the 90s. That is what I like to see. Good resilience and good sleep. Okay, so this is the morning supplement lineup. I know it looks like a lot, but this is including all of the post-op supplements. So once I'm done with those in another 6 to 8 weeks, there will be 6 fewer pills here in the morning. So this is all the peptides, fish oil, my bone support supplement, magnesium, all the things that I showed you guys yesterday. A lot of these are ones that I only have to take once a day, so I'll take those in the morning, and then at night there's some that I take twice a day, so there's repeats at night, but it's a lot fewer pills. But luckily it doesn't really bother me to swallow pills, so I can get through this pretty easily. But yeah, that's the morning lineup. Hello from my couch. I was hit by a strong wave of fatigue this afternoon, which I don't usually get such an intense I have to lie down right now kind of fatigue anymore. There was a time when this would happen to me basically every day where I just felt like if I don't lie down right now and take a nap, I'm not gonna make it through the day. Thankfully, that is pretty rare now. I still do tend to get lower energy or more fatigue kind of midday afternoon time, but that's just usually when I try to do things that require less physical energy. But anyway, for some reason, it was pretty strong today, so I've just been kind of sitting on the couch, reading, trying to rest a little bit and see if I can get a little bit of energy back. But this made me realize that I hadn't explained my theory about one of the medications I had been taking prior to my surgery that I had to stop for a few weeks beforehand. So I've mentioned before that for a long time now I've been taking low-dose naltrexone, and naltrexone is used at high doses for opioid addiction, but at very, very low doses, very effective for a lot of different chronic illnesses, autoimmune conditions. It helps with pain and inflammation, and it can help improve sleep and other specific symptoms for different chronic illnesses people might have. So I started taking it several years ago, and I noticed it really helped with brain fog. It felt like it helped kind of even out my fatigue levels, so I didn't get so many extreme fatigue moments or days. I could just kind of rely on a more even energy. Even if it wasn't great energy, it just was a little more predictable. I felt like it helped improve my sleep a bit. So anyway, I've been on it for a while. I had to stop taking it 2 weeks before my surgery because it could interact with anesthesia or with some of the pain meds that I was going to be taking afterwards. So they had actually asked me to stay off of it for 2 weeks afterwards as well. And at first when I stopped taking it, I was kind of worried that my sleep was not going to be as good, or that I was going to have more pain, or just symptoms were gonna flare up more. And I feel like that did kind of happen for the first few days. And then I didn't notice it as much, although I did notice a little more fatigue, especially in the afternoons, and kind of more of just like a weariness, kind of that like brain fog fatigue type of feeling, if that makes sense, where yes, my body did feel tired, but also like my brain just felt more tired, and that made it feel like harder to do anything. But I also was kind of curious to see, like, taking 4 full weeks off of the medication, did that taper off? Like, did I notice anything else good or bad about it? Because it's been so long since I've really taken that long of a break from it. So I felt like it was kind of an interesting experiment, and tried to be as conscious as I could of any side effects, positive or negative, while I wasn't taking it. So now that I am 4 weeks post-op, I actually have not started taking it again yet, because I wanted to discuss it more with my naturopath and kind of get her thoughts on what I've been noticing. I also kind of want to see, like, if I do start taking it again, should I start with a slightly lower dose and kind of like ease my way back into it, see what I notice. I want to be really deliberate about reintroducing it, and also just kind of double check with her, like, if I'm just taking it for symptom management, is that still a good idea? Like, how much is it helping me with my symptoms, or are there other potential benefits to it that would mean that I would want to take it, maybe even if I don't notice that much of a reduction in symptoms, etc. But my little theory on it, one thing that I've noticed, like I said, it can help improve sleep, or at least I think that's kind of like a self-reported thing that studies have noticed, that people feel like it helps their sleep quality. And one thing that I really did actually notice on my Oura Ring data when I stopped taking it was that my respiratory rate, so like basically how much I'm breathing at night, it's calculating breaths per minute, went up. There's kind of like a range you want to be in for that. It's generally a little bit lower is better, and I believe it's about like 12 or 13 breaths per minute is kind of considered ideal. So I definitely wasn't in like a range that was necessarily problematic, but usually at night my respiratory rate would be like 13 breaths per minute, and it went up to like 14, which might seem insignificant, but I think higher respiratory rate can actually contribute to sort of putting your body in more of a stress state and actually inducing anxiety. So if you're really overbreathing, that can actually contribute to anxiety kinds of symptoms. And that was another thing that I had noticed when I was not taking the medication. I felt like more anxious, basically. And at first I was kind of wondering if it was just because it was prior to the surgery and I had this big thing coming up and maybe I was a little more worried about it. But I feel like even since then, I've just noticed more that little things that normally might like stress me out slightly, but I could pretty easily move on or not ruminate on it. Like, it's just been a lot harder to kind of turn my brain off from like worry thoughts. And it could be placebo effect. It could be that I'm just paying more attention to it because I'm thinking this might be the case. But given that my respiratory rate, since I had noticed that first, and I know that that can kind of contribute to a little bit more of like anxious feeling as well, I'm just wondering if potentially the low dose naltrexone was maybe having some kind of greater effect on sort of general stress or anxiety levels in kind of a neurological way that maybe I hadn't realized just because I've been on it for so long and it's been such a long time since I've taken an extended break. So again, this is just kind of my theory based only on my own experience these last few weeks and what I've noticed from my Oura Ring data, but this is what I want to talk with my doctor about and kind of see if she has other thoughts or maybe more actual solid information on whether that could be the case, and or if we decide to reintroduce the medication, how I can really kind of track that and see what I notice, see if there's any difference when I'm on it, and whether it's something I want to keep taking long term. But yeah, I just thought that was really interesting. I'm going to continue to stay off of it for now. I have an appointment with my doctor in a couple of weeks, I think 2 weeks from now, so we'll be able to discuss that and see what we want to do next. But yeah, I just thought that was really interesting. Good morning. It's Wednesday morning. It's about 11:30 now. I just got back from training a client at the gym, and you can still see I have all my IKEA boxes still just kind of sitting here. I've been meaning to start unboxing things. I don't actually have a time set up yet to have this installed. The person that I always call for this kind of thing is actually the same person that set up my sauna several months ago. We just haven't been able to coordinate a time to make this happen yet. But I figured I could at least kind of start unboxing things and sort of see how complicated or time consuming challenging this project might actually be, and also just to save a little bit of time so that when he is able to come install it, if I have it all unboxed and kind of ready to go, it's just going to make the process a lot easier. I'm also just kind of curious to see what's in all these boxes, but every time I've sort of had a moment where I could get started on that, I just really have not felt like it or had the energy to do it. So I'm going to try to at least get it started now. I don't have to do all of it. I'm just going to try to open a few of them, get an idea of what is in all of these, maybe try to find the directions, and at the very least just not have these boxes staring at me anymore. Four down, 3 to go. Okay, so I got all of the drawers unboxed. There's 8 drawers. I guess I'm just gonna kind of leave them piled there for now. They are on a towel, so I could kind of scooch them around if I need to move them, but that's gonna have to do for now. I do also have the shelving units and the closet rods, but since those are gonna be super easy to just open up when I actually need to use them or install them, I'm gonna leave those for now, but I do need to deal with all of these boxes. I do still have all the huge boxes sitting in the hallway, which I'm sure my neighbors are thrilled about, but I might have to wait and tackle those tomorrow. Today is 5 weeks since my surgery, and I think I can say I am officially recovered. I mean, obviously my face is still healing and that's going to take a while to fully recover, but I would say in terms of all other metrics, I'm definitely back on track. I am also quite sore from a lower body workout I did yesterday. So still, I guess, getting back on track with my workouts and kind of getting back to my baseline, but definitely need to go get some movement in today and get loosened up, do a little bit of active recovery so that I can keep moving forward.